All right, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? You know, like the commercial that always says, "Can you hear me now?" I think it's a Verizon commercial or something. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm doing this. Ow! Off me. I'll tell you what, the summertime out here is ferocious. All these bugs and stuff coming in up in here. I do have a fan on tonight because I only got one light, but I had to put the fan on because it's pretty humid still. And I was out mowing some today and sweating pretty good bit. So I got my big jug of water here. Yeah, if y'all would, there we go. Hey, good evening again, Michael Wright. I'm glad you were able to find me this time because I had a little bit of technical difficulties, technicalities, whatever you want to call it. What I was trying to do was use this, hey, Linda Jinx. I was trying to use this lapel mic, and for some reason, that way I wouldn't have to yell because I always feel like I'm yelling. And when I yell, it changes the pitch of my voice. My voice gets higher, like, yeah. So I was trying something different. Maybe I'll just try not yelling. What's up, Anthony? I missed you at the party the other night, buddy. Yes, it was Saturday. Anyway, all right. Looks like we got some people joining in. We got Chad Hyder, Paul Rodriguez, RD Ford. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we're going to get started right away. If you haven't met me, if you don't know me, my name is David Hamm. I'm a former NASCAR engine builder of 25 years. I recently retired. I guess it's been right at a month ago now. So now I just work solely for Hammscapes. And I guess you could say I work for DHammiam radio at times also. So I've got, and I'm what you would call a YouTube partner. So I enjoy doing my YouTube videos. I have a Hammscapes on YouTube and a couple other ones, but I'm working on some stuff, doing like repairs on tractors and maybe some golf carts. You see, I got a couple of golf carts here, big tractor back here, the old Ford that I'm working on. Here's my John Deere, and I got a bunch of old Ford tractors in here. But I was also a 7-year jackman in a NASCAR Cup Series, as well as the Busch Series, some in the Winston West, ARCA, all that stuff. So Chad Hyder's joined in, and Chad, it was great to see you at my party Saturday. Glad you could make it down. We had Tom Robinson was down, and hopefully he's going to find the link. Thank you, Anthony Flynn says I'm cooler than the ceiling fan. Yeah, too bad Paul Rodriguez couldn't have come down for the party. And hey, Nancy Davidson, Chad Hyder says, so my phone still thinks I'm in Statesville and there are storm warnings. Yes, I think there's a storm warning here till 1 a.m. Last time I saw. I get a text message telling me that. And what's up, RD Ford? Glad you could tune in. And oh yeah, Rachel, thank you. She says that was an amazing party. Yep. Yeah, I'm glad Chad came down from Ohio, so I was really happy to see him here. He was actually the first one here. First guest to the big party. We had Hutch Strickland and his wife Pam, who, as you probably know, is the cousin to Donnie Allison, the daughter of Donnie Allison. I said the cousin to Davey Allison, but I'll tell you what, she looks more like her dad the older she gets, but looks more like Donnie. So, and Terry Quinn tuning in from Oklahoma. She fixed me an apple. There you go. Is that all right? Does anybody have to cut the peeling off the apple? Does anybody have to core the apple, or do they just eat it? Do you eat the whole apple? Do you eat the seeds? Do they make little apple trees grow inside you? I don't know. I got so many questions about apples. Who knows? All right. So what we got going on here is we had a race at Sonoma this past weekend. Who watched the race? Did everybody watch the race? We went over to Hut's house and we were hanging out, and he said, "Hey, let's go watch the end of the race." So we went inside and watched the end of the race. So which gave me the opportunity to ask a couple questions to Hut Strick. And I said, "Hey, dude, what was your favorite tracks that you raced on?" And the first one he said was the first thing he said was he likes racing at tracks that were more of a challenge. So his favorite was he liked racing at Charlotte for one, and Darlington was another one. So those were tougher tracks to race at. And he said that he thinks, racing at Daytona and Talladega, those kind of tracks weren't quite as challenging because, you just go out there and basically ride around. And so, all right, so Nancy Davidson says she got the last 28 laps. And so has anybody heard from, what's up, Sarah Baker? Wish you could have made it to the party too, but there'll be a next time. We'll do it again. Has anybody heard from D-Lo? Because D-Lo had surgery today. So I was curious how she fared on the surgery. Anytime you have surgery, it's kind of a scary thing. And we always say prayers for our good friends when they're having surgery. And then also today is Hut Strickland's birthday. We were just talking about him. And so that's that. All right. And where's Tom Robinson? Has anybody seen Tom Robinson? He was on my other live feed that I didn't have any sound because I was trying my lapel mic, but it wasn't working. So I'm gonna have to go into like OBD studio and try to fix it up. Linda Jinks race stunk, waste of time. I'm assuming you mean because the Ford didn't win and because Martin Truex won. And I'll just be straight up. I'm not a fan. I'm not a big fan of Martin Truex. I'm gonna actually I'll let the name. Who was it that said that last week? Martin Kleenex. How do y'all like that? Martin Kleenex. I kind of like that. I think that's funny. Yeah, Martin Kleenex Jr. I love that. How about that when I saw that last week? I was laughing so hard. All right, so we had I'll just say the stage winners. The first stage winner was William Byron. The second stage winner was Denny Hamlin, another one of my non-favorites. And then the final stage winner, as we said, was Martin Truex Jr. And the Sonoma finishing order was Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch second, Ryan Blaney third, Matt DiBenedetto. I always have trouble saying his name. I'm sorry. I bet I'm not the only one. Matt DiBenedetto. And that was his best finish in 156 starts. It looked like he was very happy. I saw a lot of his the pictures that the crew guys were posting and him standing out the back of the truck with all the crew, So good for him. Somebody different. Maybe he'll be an up-and-coming guy, which he's already does decent. But anyway, so fifth was Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick in sixth, Ryan Newman in fifth, seventh, Eric Jones eighth, Eric Almirola, and then rounding out the top 10 was Kyle Larson. And I did not write down how many Fords, so I'm going to go ahead and count those. Grab my pen right quick. All right, so this is what we had: Ford, Chevy, Toyota. We had, all right, well, I'll just start with Toyota because he was the winner. One Toyota, two Toyota. What is Matt DiBenedetto? Toyota, I believe. So that'd be 3, 4. 4 Toyotas in the top 10. And we had Ford. The first Ford was in 6th place with Kevin Harvick. And then 7th, Ryan Newman. So there's 3 Fords and I guess 1 Chevrolet, Kyle Larson. Something like that. Oh, well. That was the results I was looking for. I was hoping I was going to see more Fords in the top 10 than that. But it didn't happen this time. Yeah, how about Ryan Newman? Again, did he yeah. Once again, Ryan Newman's actually doing really good, finishing the top 10 consistently. And very good point, Sarah Baker. This was a Toyota sponsored race. Rachel says, I hate Toyota. So, oh, did I forget? What? Blaney's third place? Oh, yeah, Blaney was in third place. Okay, yeah, Ryan Blaney, you're right. And that was, you know what I was thinking there on that last lap? was I was remembering the Charlotte Roval when Ryan Blaney was running in third, and was it Jimmy Johnson took out Truex, I believe it was, and then Ryan Blaney won the race. I was thinking, wouldn't that be great if that happened again? That would be a perfect time. Sarah Tracy is working tonight. She's working at the she works at UPS, so in Hickory. So she's out there working tonight. So she'll be home probably around 10 o'clock. But no, normally she does join me on this show. So I'm going to start having some guests. I haven't really done a lot of that yet, but I'm working on it. I want to have, let me move this just a little. I want to start having different people come on with me, different people that are associated with NASCAR. Maybe I talked to HUD a little bit about it, and you know, he's always pretty busy because he actually does work. You know, since he got out of NASCAR, he holds down a full-time job. So, but we'll get some people in here, and Sarah Baker. What do you mean? Just kidding. I was gonna say you're gonna be on next week. So yeah, you come on here next week with me. You're welcome anytime. All right, so we were hoping. Rachel says we were hoping that too with the pass race for Ryan to win. Yes, that would have been funny. That would have been great actually. All right, so the current point standings right now. Oh, there you go, Tom. I'm glad you made it back. He is in the Isle of Palms. Oh, he lost his reception. Yes, I was thinking you done bailed out on me after. Well, Tom, what was your take on the party? Did you have a good time? We got some pictures on the Facebooks. I actually put a picture on Reddit tonight. It's the first time I've really done much on Reddit, but there's a NASCAR Reddit, and I also put one on Twitter, and both of those I'm DHammiam on Reddit and Twitter, and Instagram DHammiam. So yeah, Chad, hope you had a good trip back to Ohio. Everything went well for you, and happy birthday to you too. Wait a minute, it's not your birthday. Happy birthday to Tom. Tom turned a big 50. Hut's birthday's today, and my wife turned, I'm not going to say how old she turned. She's not far behind Tom, I can tell you that. And that was on June the 14th. And so the current point standings right now, Joey Logano still leads, which is good. And Kyle Busch is in second. Kevin Harvick's in third. Brad Keselowski is in fourth. Martin Truex, fifth. Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, Boyer. I believe that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's the top 12 in the points. And let's see how many of those are forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the top 12 are Fords. That's just really good. 7, 4. And let's see how many of those are Toyotas. 1, Kyle Busch. Truex 2, Denny Hamlin 3. That's it. Okay. 3 Toyotas, the top 3 Toyotas, really the best Toyotas they have, the Gibbs. So I'll just do the math. So that means we got 2 Chevrolets because we got 7 plus 3 is 10. So we got 2 Chevrolets in the top 10 in the points. So I'd say Ford has the best chance of. I ain't gonna say it because I'm not gonna jinx it, but you know, what's up, Scott Trevison? Scott, are you ever coming back from Florida? And I'm gonna tell you something, buddy. You missed a heck of a party. I could see you up here on my makeshift stage. We had us a PA, our amplifier, and a microphone. You'd have fit right in. Played some good music too. I think my son ended up singing more than anybody. Him and Kylie Smith from Jack of Diamonds band. Check them out on the Facebooks. My son ended up singing the most. Kylie Smith played a bunch of songs, and I think we had some pretty dang good entertainment. We had Rusty Adams was here singing. Believe it or not, I didn't get up and sing. I played the harmonica a little bit, but I was so busy making sure everything was in order and everybody was happy. So, which I was going to try not to do that, you know, but that's just the way it is. Oh my gosh, Sarah Baker's dad, Downtown Brown, he was a mess. Yeah, he was funny. Terry Quinn says, how did Kyle Busch finish second with his hood messed up? Do not know about that. Yeah, Chad Hutter testing the taco bit. Man, that was good stuff. So there are 10 races left in the regular season. Here's how things are shaping up. This is how many wins the drivers have, basically. Kyle Busch wins. He says 4 wins. Kyle Busch has 4 wins. Martin Truex also. Brad Keselowski 3. Joey Logano 2. Denny Hamlin 2. Chase Elliott 1. And then the rest are cut off. Kevin Harvick plus 183 to cut off. Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, Eric Almirola, Clint Boyer, Daniel Suarez 31 plus 31, William Byron plus 29, Kyle Larson plus 18, and Ryan Newman plus 1. You know, that's a lot of Fords up there. I mean, we really have a huge though, because I'm not going to jinx it. Said that in the past about the odds stuff, and then all right, you'll be home after Daytona, which is after the July race at Daytona. All right, I don't think I'm having more parties here. We'll have our own parties. We'll go down to the Beer Man's Beer Cave, as I call it, and reminisce about some old racing, talk about racing stories, and have our own parties. How's that sound? And then Paul Rodriguez says, I met Hut Strickland in New Hampshire the week after Davey passed. He drove Davey's push car. Red Farmer was the crew chief. Yeah, how about that? Those were some pretty sad times, you know, in NASCAR when Davey passed away. Yeah, no more parties. I was kidding, Sarah. I was kind of doing a jab at the Beer Man because he missed this party. So I was like, yeah, I'm not having parties after the July. Yeah, so all right, so we want to talk about, what do y'all want to talk about? How about some DW's retirement? Who would like to see replace him in the announcer's booth? And are they going to replace him? Because I actually kind of heard someone say that they weren't replacing him. Oh yeah, I think I did see. I saw Kyle Busch's hood got messed up because he slammed into Clint Boyer, and he had that round M&M right on the front, so it kind of made it look like it was a it looked like it was more of a dent, but it was really just the shape of the M&M that made it look like that. Yeah, I agree, Tom. No need to replace him. Yeah, and we did lose a lot of good drivers from the 90s to 2001. That's for dang sure. Scott Travis, JGR has won 10 of 16 races. That's 62% winning rate. Why you gotta be a what they call a Debbie Downer, Scott? But that's true. I mean, you know, we got to talk about the facts. That is the facts. Yeah. Oh, Michael Wright, you're absolutely right, my friend. Somebody that doesn't talk about KB the whole race. You could hear Kyle Busch's name. I don't remember what track it was, but somebody counted, and it was a ridiculous amount of numbers. How many times they said Kyle Busch? I'm not even gonna say his name again. This whole show. All right, so today it's been so hot. I got my half a gallon of water on my antique table this and get my table wet. Okay. And I actually got a little bit of Coke because I need a little bit of a boost. It's the old classic cherry Coke. Now I'm worried about the water on my antique table. Can't believe I did that. Okay, so we'll just roll right on past that. What's your okay? That'll go next. Kyle Petty's Right Across America. He raised $1.7 million on that Right Across America. So how about that? I say give it up for Kyle. I don't hear anybody else clapping, but I bet y'all are clapping at home. But I think that's pretty awesome. They're going to wait till the Harwick retirement for Kyle's name is Shrub because he's a little bush. That's good, Sarah. Like it. Have you heard that a few times? I was hearing that the other night from old Downtown Brown. It's one funny guy. If y'all haven't met Sarah Baker's dad, he was a dang hoot. Even when I was sitting over here with Hut, sorry, the fan's blowing my mustache hairs. I was sitting over here with Hut. He said, "Who's that guy over there?" And then they were like, "Man, he is a dang trip." All right, so yeah, I'm gonna save this for after. All right, so some of the hot and not teams with the new teams. Kurt Busch is he has 4 top 5s, 9 top 10s in 15 races, 8th in the points. Basically a new team or a new combination. Yes, and hey, Darla. Darla, does she have her own YouTube channel? She needs to get that on her phone and start tuning in. All right, and then Daniel Suarez, 2 top 5s and 6 top 10s in 15 races, and he's 13th in the points. This says okay, Martin Truex. I guess because he's a new to the Joe Gibbs Racing this year. 3 wins, 6 top 5s, and 9 top 10s. Ryan Newman, 4 top 10s. Average finish 15th, no DNFs. Yeah, Ryan Newman's actually doing really well for someone that just kind of jumped right back in or jumped over there Roush and started driving. Yeah. We do love Kyle Petty, don't we, Scott? We need to get Kyle on this show. I need to man, if you want to talk about a busy person, between his Ride Across America and all the different stuff he does, playing his guitar, doing the charities, hanging out with Morgan and their new son, Overton, they are busy. So, all right. Two drivers have retired from NASCAR after. We're talking. Okay, so does anybody remember? If you haven't seen my video yet, I put a video on when I went to Daytona this past time I went down here, and I rode around looking for Smoky Unix best damn garage in town. So I put a little video up looking for that, or when I found the spot, it looked to me like that would have been the exact spot where it was, because it burned down in 2011, I believe it was, and it never was rebuilt. So I kind of figured out. Terry Quinn looked up some stuff, also sent me some stuff, but there's been a little bit of politics about Smoky Unit and the reason why they did not rebuild, because that was the big question. Why did they not rebuild, at least do like a replica of the best damn garage in town? Because it had such an instrumental effect on the NASCAR racing. It's legendary. It's history of NASCAR, but you don't really see a lot about it. So regarding Smokeys Garage not being rebuilt, or at least the landmark, there wasn't even a sign there. It really surprised me. It seems that the reason Smoke has never been elected into the NASCAR Hall of Fame is because he and Francis didn't get along. There were difficulties between them. Even Smokey Unit adopted hometown of Daytona Beach, never embraced him. Smokey is even in two dozen other Hall of Fames, not NASCAR Hall of Fame. Seems Smoke and the Francis clashed over everything, including money. Seems in the 50s and 60s, Smoke believed the tech inspectors ruled with arrogance and competence. They stripped Smokey of an entry and found numerous irregularities. Smoke scanned the list and told them they missed a few. Proudly drove his car back to his garage and the fuel, just with the missing the fuel cell, and he drove it back with only a fuel line. So that was one of his things, that he had these really big fuel lines. So obviously he could have more fuel in the car. So his fuel mileage seemed to be better. So he seems like he caught a lot more than others, so I'm assuming there was a lot of politics going on with the reason why they did not rebuild the best damn garage in town or have some type of landmark sign up there. And then also Smoke said that France wouldn't make a pimple on a real mechanic's behind, and not as nice a word. And Smoke also said Brian France that he was an a-hole, and his son went to school with Brian, and second to that statement about Brian France. So there you have it. I guess he kind of saw the history of the way that was going down with Brian France. All right. So a NASCAR rumor. It has been rumored over the past week that Richard Childress Racing and Richard Petty Motorsports, you ready for this? Because I could merge come 2020 and put Tyler Reddick in the 43 car. So there may be a merge coming. Who knows? Is it silly season yet? Is it too early for silly season? Yes, probably so. But yeah, Scott Trepson, talking about Smokey, he was an innovator. That's for sure. It's sort of like, I don't know. When I was down there and I was looking for that, and if you look in the video, I just felt like I was on hollowed ground, you know, because I would have loved to have been around back in those days and been able to walk through and talk to Smokey Enoch. I did meet Smokey Enoch in Daytona, talked to him briefly. He was talking to my hinge builder. Didn't want to interrupt too much, but at least I got to meet him. And it was, you know, I felt like I was standing there with the king. So, because, you know, he was so instrumental in me getting into NASCAR. And whenever I always wanted to learn, you know, I always needed the rule book because I wanted to be able to bend the rules a little bit. And I still do that in just about everything I do. Except we didn't do that with the engines because you really couldn't do that. At least not at Roush Yates engines. So, okay, let's see if RCR and RPM formed a technical alliance in 2018, and Richard Petty's shop recently moved on the Richard Childress Racing campus. Childress in recent weeks has said he hopes to have Reddick join the Cup Series full-time early next year, but sponsorship, da-da-da-da-da, you know how that goes with sponsors stuff. All right. All cars made it through inspections the first time. Hallelujah. I guess, you know what? Being on a road course where you don't really have to worry so much about drafts and things like that, maybe that's why. They made it through because they just decided, you know what? We're just going to set up our cars to go left and right, and whatever happens, happens. All right. So Rachel says, I could see RCR and Petty merging. Richard Childress, Richard Petty have been around a long time. I could see them both working together. Yes, they should name it something that has to do with, because they're both basically legends in NASCAR. I mean, I don't know why I said basically, but they both are. Okay. Yeah, Carl Edwards to Penske in 2020. Yeah, to Penske. Now, is this April Fool's again? You sound like Beer Man here talking, Scott Trevison. For what I heard, Roger Penske said he would never hire Carl Edwards. So, yeah, that's what Rachel, I think, says too. But you know what? I would like to see that because I'd like to see Carl Edwards come back. I always liked Carl. He was one of the drivers that actually give us something for Christmas. I'm not saying that's the only reason I liked him, but it kind of shows you the kind of guy he was. He was a very nice guy. The first time I met him was at our company Christmas party, and I was his engine builder. I guess the second time I met him, but I was his engine builder, and so he gave me his phone number and said call him sometime. So I did call him a couple times. We never did do lunch, but I think it was after he won his first race. I gave him a call. He answered, and we talked a little bit. I told him we were proud of him there in the engine shop, and then that was that. You know, he come in every once in a while. A few years later, he ends up leaving. So leaving the sport. All right, some other news in NASCAR. Joe Gibbs becomes the winningest team in NASCAR history with 326 wins across 3 series. 167 Cup wins, 159 Xfinity wins. This season, Gibbs has won, well, 10 of 16 races. I thought Scott said 11 or something like that. All right, 10 of 16 races in Cup and 7 of 14 in the Xfinity Series. All right, let me get another sip. All right. Need to be made to prevent a violent crash like Kyle Larson had at Talladega. However, NASCAR says they aren't planning to make any changes before the July Daytona race, which Scott will be at. Newman said he is the most concerned about ensuring that another car doesn't get airborne. Newman says it needs to be a good race, but a safe one for drivers and fans. NASCAR did an investigation on Larson's car and found that what caused the car to go airborne was damage to the tire fender causing the wreck from William Byron. They said the only way to ensure zero chance of cars getting airborne is if they were going very slow on the track, or until at least a landmark sign. You know what? My thing on that right there. I'll do my. What did we decide? The Hamm. It's not the Crown Tail, but it's a Hamm 101. What was that? We were going to start calling this. But my take on that is, I agree you need safety in NASCAR totally, but I think these cars are safer than any of the cars in NASCAR have ever been. So I don't know. I don't really see there being that big of an issue with the cars going airborne myself. I think now they're actually pushed down on the track more than ever, you know, with the big rear spoiler and yeah, Hamm's hanky. So, you know, I'm not saying this to Ryan Newman because I'm not out there as a driver. You know, I'm sure he's looking out for his safety and everybody else's safety. And it wouldn't hurt to always try to be looking into making the car safer from going airborne. But man, what else can they do besides what they said, slow the cars down? Because anytime you get something going close, you know, 200 mile an hour, there's a chance it's going to get airborne if it gets air up underneath it. So, hey, maybe, you know, my Hamm's hanky part of it, I don't know. Worry about something else, because I don't think that that's going to be really a big issue. How about worrying about getting more of the fans back in the stands? I think that would probably be a good thing. Yeah, Tom, I wasn't happy with Carl when he left the way he did and all that kind of stuff. I guess because down to that last race, he sort of he could have cost us the championship with Ford, you know. And I wonder if he kind of felt bad about that. You know, he really could have won the championship the year that he didn't win. He finished second. I think he was kind of being too nice of a guy. What do you think, Tom? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Excuse me. All right. So another news, and I mentioned this on the radio last Thursday night on the WAME Sports Recap Show. We were talking about President Donald J. Trump announced Roger Penske will be awarded the Medal of Freedom. I think that's already happened, but he has, Roger Penske got the Medal of Freedom. So congratulations to Roger Penske on that. And speaking of WAME and the radio, I'm actually going to be, all right, so you know about the Chillbillies, right? We got Hamm, Hash, and Kudzu. And we're all three on the Friday show together. Well, this Friday, it's going to be just me, apparently, because Kudzu and Hash are going to be going somewhere else. So I guess I'll be the host of the show this Friday. So if y'all want to tune in, follow me on Facebook and tune in whenever I share my post. And y'all go on there and comment, give me a hard time, whatever you want to do. Give me something more to talk about. Because I can go on Facebook and say, hey, you got listeners here, and this listener said this, this listener said this. But the way to do it is to follow me on Facebook, WAMEradio.com. So Tom says, Carl was too dang nice here to Stewart's car, and it wasn't happy that Carl went to JGR and wasn't happy with Matt Kenseth either. Yeah, I know, right? That was disappointment. And it was disappointing when he left. It was disappointment whenever Kenseth left. That was kind of a downtime for us. And then we got Penske come along. But you know what? Imagine if they would have stayed with us, then I think things, you know, they would have won more races. I mean, we won a lot of races with Kenseth and Biffle and Edwards. I need to sit down sometime and figure out how many races we actually won. That was back when Roush was running good and, you know, kicking butt. Just water. I gotta stay hydrated as dry as it is out here. I mean, I'm sorry, as humid as it is, and it's making me sweat like crazy. All right, so the Charlotte enhanced, in other news, Charlotte enhanced Roval with a wider backstretch chicane. The expanding configuration will create additional passing opportunities and more side-by-side action on the 17 turns of the course. The original chicane layout was 32 feet wide. The new will be 54. And I believe that Beerman said he's going to take me to the Charlotte race for as my retirement gift. Right, Scott. Yeah, Scott's right though. Carl took the $30 million and left the sport. That's basically what happened. I can't say that I wouldn't have done the same thing, because here's the deal: the drivers are out there every race, they're risking their life, and if somebody comes along and says, "Hey, here's some money if you'll get out of this car so that my son can get in this car," basically, will you take it? I'd have been like, "How much money are you talking about?" And if they would have said 30 million, I'd have said, "Where do I sign?" I'd have went and bought myself a farm or something, So there you go. Yeah. All right. Okay, so we're done with that. All right, so this is something I want you to comment on. Actually, I'm going to save that for later. All right, so the next race we got coming up, Chicagoland Speedway. Tom Robinson says, yeah, Roush Fenway needs to either get their stuff together or get out of the sport. And with that, it's been a rumor too, And I never thought I'd see them becoming field fillers. They are doing better, but it's not good enough. Yep. So we'll see what happens with Roush. Maybe, I don't know. There's been all kinds of rumors going around so far. It's a little early for silly season, but I was going to say maybe they'll end up having someone merge with them that can bring some newer technology into them, or do something like that. But that is yet to be seen. So Chicago Speedway, track facts and history. It's a 1.5-mile trial over in Joliet, Illinois. It broke ground September 28, 1999, and opened July 2001. I remember going there for the first time. I actually went there twice because you fly into Chicago, and when you're coming into land, it's just like you see on some of the old TV shows. I was trying to remember the one with Steve Urkel. What's the name of that show? It had Steve Urkel and them, but they had those, I don't know if you call them condos or whatever, lined up. And I mean, they are on top of each other, just bam, 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 for miles and miles. I was like, holy crap, I haven't seen that many houses together like that. Family Matters. Thank you, Chad. Yes, the old show Family Matters. That's exactly what Chicago. Well, anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with the racetrack. I'm just telling you my first impression of flying into Chicago. I've never been into the downtown, but I've been to the racetrack a couple of times. It's a nice track, that's for sure. All right, so the capacity is 47,000, owned by International Speedway Corporation, ISC. It's a surface is asphalt. Turns is 18 degrees front stretch and 11 degrees back stretch, 5 degrees. 11, okay. It's set by Joey Logano, September 14, 2013 at 189.414 miles per hour. All right, and that's as of 2016. All right, who has the most wins at Chicago? That's going to be my quiz question right now. He doesn't drive anymore. We've talked about him a little bit tonight. Actually, I hadn't talked about him. He is now a team owner. Yes. Michael Wright says Stewart. And Chad Hatter says the Bears. All right. So, yes. Tony Stewart has the most wins with 3. The most top 5s is Kevin Harvick. Most top 10s, Tony Stewart. And Jimmy Johnson with 11. Most starts there is Kevin Harvick. So, Dale Jr. and Kurt Busch have the most starts at Chicago. So that being said, who do you think is possibly going to win, has the most experience there? It's kind of what I gathered out of that. The polls, 2 with Jimmy Johnson, laps led Jimmy Johnson. There was a time where it seemed like Jimmy Johnson was winning everything, everywhere, every week, every year. And it also seems to me like that's when a lot of fans started dropping off. I'm not blaming Jimmy, but I'm just saying that was a time in NASCAR when he was winning everything. And I remember people getting so mad. They're like, I'm not watching another race. You know? At least when Jeff Gordon was winning everything, you still had Earnhardt there to give him a hard time and to win, because that was such an extremely different. You think about it, Earnhardt and Gordon, they were always friendly. Earnhardt would pick on Gordon. Gordon was still a kid. Earnhardt was the intimidator, and Gordon was the rainbow guy. You know what I'm saying? So I know, right? I'm sorry about that, Nancy. I just with my little bit of a yawn there. Gosh, you know what this heat does to me. But I absolutely love being out in the heat. I wouldn't change it for nothing right now. So yeah, Harvick. I think Harvick's got a great shot. I do believe at winning at Chicago. And the other guy I said had the experience was Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch. Yeah, with the most starts. Kevin Harvick, Dale Jr., who doesn't drive anymore, and Kurt Busch. And of course, Jimmy Johnson has a lot of experience there. Yep. Yeah, Scott Beerman's a big Cubs fan. Go Cubs, go! And so, does anybody know who the last winner was at Chicagoland? He won on July 1st, 2018. And then in 2008, the track installed lighting, allowing for night races. So the guy that won Chicago last, I said I wasn't gonna say his name anymore because I ain't gonna be like old DW. But I got a few things to show y'all, some show and tell stuff here. Oh yeah, Chad Howder's an Indian fan. All right, I'm gonna show you a few things here. These are some of my souvenirs. All right, one is I got this book. It's a Hamm and a Moody book, and I meant to turn the page to find Tracy's dad. I don't remember what page he was in, but he's in there. But look at this, the first page I opened up, the man we were talking about, Smokey Unit. Man. Yeah, so let's see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. But anyway, Tracy's dad is in here. There's a lot of old NASCAR legends in this book. Also, Robert Yates. I actually got Robert to sign this. All right, I'm going to flip through here. I got Robert to sign this book on page where he was on there. Oh, here we go. Check this out. Robert Yates. How cool is that? And then here's a picture there. It's got Waddell Wilson. How about that? Very cool. How cool would it have been to be around NASCAR back in those days? And, I used to ride my bicycle by the old Hamm and Moody shop. And then I would ride down to Diegard and I would hear them engines running. That's when I talked to Robert about that. He always kind of lit up and he's like, "Did you hear the engines running?" "Yes, sir, I did." That's good stuff. All right, another book. I got 2 more books to show you. So just hang on. But I could sit there. I love NASCAR history. I could sit and read and look at pictures and all that stuff. I absolutely love it. All right. So this was first of all, if y'all are ever in bookstores and you go looking for, and you go through the NASCAR section and see if you see any, books like this, and guess who's right there in the middle of the back side of the book? Right here. Does that guy look familiar? Right there. So apparently our front tire changer, Big Country, there's me. Big Country was having a little bit of trouble. So a lot of times what I would do is go ahead and drop the jack. I'd come around this side, jack it up. That way, whenever I got it up, the rear tire guy was already half done. And then I would pull this tire off for him. And then he could go ahead and hit the nuts and we would kind of get caught back up, But I was walking through a bookstore and I saw that. And then another one here. This one was called Inside Track. This one's by Benny Parsons. It says text by Benny Parsons and then photographs by George Bennett. I don't know George Bennett. Scott might know. Okay, so here on the back side, this guy right here. And apparently I was looking at the rear tire changer back here. And I think that was Jim Sutton at the time. Looked like he was having a little trouble. So I'm kind of watching and watching until he hits he got on his 5th lug nut. Then I was going to take off. No, actually at that point, since the front guy was gone, I would have waited till he hit about 3. And then I would have went ahead and took off and got around the other side. So this was Tony Lambert. And this was, oh, heck, help me out, Scott. Shoot. Anyway, that's also inside the book. That was golly. Anyway, I knew that's for some reason I had my blank. Thunderbird. Glenn Thunderbird. Yeah. So inside this book, it's got that same picture. Here it is inside the book. But this has got a bunch of old pictures in it. Yeah, really cool. Good stuff though. All right, Scott says this is what the sport is all about. Take it from a diehard Cubs fan. That one time Hendrick Motorsports was on top of the motorsport world. Now they can't find their way out of a wet paper bag. You know, that is very true. That was, oh yeah, Darla. He says you were famous, David. Hey, it's really cool when I'm walking through a bookstore and I find a book that's got my picture on it. I like that. I don't know. It's something neat to pass down to my grandkids, you know. They can look back and say, hey, this was my grandfather. But yes, whenever sports is that way. You always have to be evolving. You always have to go with the new stuff. It's the teams that say, you know what, I'm doing it my way. I'm not going to conform. I'm smarter than everybody else. That's the big thing. Because you know what? Like Felix Sabatis always said, when you're green, you're growing. When you're ripe, you're dead. And that's what happens. Some of the teams get to where they don't want to talk to other teams. They don't want to get information that sometimes the other teams are like, hey, we can help you out because you're part of our Ford manufacturing. Here's some information. And they'll say, nope, don't want it. You know, pride, stubbornness. In this sport, it doesn't get you anywhere. All right, that's my rant. Maybe that should have been my my Hamm's shoot. Harry, what was it again? My Hamm's crying tale or whatever you call it. Hamm's hankies. That should have been my Hamm's hanky. You know what? I don't have my. I need to get my hanky. I get my hankies that I was telling you about. This ain't a hanky. This is my homemade mask. When I was pretending to be Zorro or something one time, and I was like, you know what? I can make my own mask. So what I did was I cut the sleeves out of a T-shirt and I cut holes in the mask. And I think I was trying to be a Hamburglar, but I ended up getting a regular Hamburglar mask, which I got sitting over here somewhere. That's a sleeve off of one of my shirts. So that's not really my hanky, but I could say that's my Hamm's hanky for the day. Scott, where's my helmet? Man, I don't know. Which helmet is that, Scott? I've got a bunch of different helmets. I got football, I got racing, motorcycle, I got go-kart racing helmets. So which one is that, Mr. Scott? All right, so does anybody have any questions? What I was going to say is after this is over, I want to get some responses on this video. But wait till I close it out and then it's shared and then go back on and comment. What is your most favorable races to watch and attend? Yeah, please leave comments after the chat. Because if you leave them here, I may not see them because what I have to do is I'll get notifications to my phone. If you go back and comment after the video is over with, that would be great. But I'll ask that again so you go back on and comment. What is your most favorable race to watch, attend? Please leave a response in the comments after the chat. And also, if you don't mind, while I'm thinking about it, hit that like button, please. And also share this video if you would. Share it on your Facebook page, share it on Twitter. Then we can get more people watching. And one of these days, I'm going to start getting some more people in as guests. Beer Man will be back, and then we'll get him in here, and we'll talk about some of our memories from racing and NASCAR, and we'll just have us a big time. We'll just have one big party with everybody joining in, and I really enjoy reading these comments. Hopefully, I got everybody. You know, it helps me when Tracy's here, and she can read the comments, and or if Beer Man's here, he can read the comments. Or as Sarah Baker said, she's going to be here next week, I think. And so, but we will see y'all next Monday evening at 7:30, and I'll try to definitely be on time next week. And if I try a new microphone, I'll just do something else with it. I was going to show you this one last picture. This was me in 2005 when I was building Roush H engines, and what I was doing there, and it's kind of funny. You see my aluminum foil hat that I'm wearing? Yeah, this was 2005. It's kind of funny that my last day there when the Gates come in and talked to me, and I had that picture sitting on my box. I said, "Hey, do you remember this picture?" He said, "Yeah, remember this day." He's like the aluminum foil hats, and yeah. So I mentioned that was because we had some of the engineers coming in the room, and we had to put those hats on to protect ourselves, protect our brains, if you know what I mean. But I kind of wasn't thinking about it, but that's what Doug Yates is, an engineer. He went to NC State and got an engineering degree. You know what? It's all good. I didn't think he was going to fire me at the time on my last day. But anyway, love the guy. Miss him already, but you know what? Everything's good, and I'm sure I'll talk to Doug again. He said I can come back in here anytime I want to. I'll come in, hang out, see the guys. But anyway, yeah, everybody have a great night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe, and share the video and turn on that bell notification for next time. And hopefully in a couple of weeks we might have Beer Man back here with us. But everybody have a safe week and happy rest of the week. I tend to forget what day it is because it seems like every day Friday for me. I kind of make my own schedule, but I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. So everybody have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Good night. Thanks for tuning in.